Now, we're going to stick with perimeter, and we're going to look at triangles. Now, the perimeter of a triangle would be easy to find if you had all the sides. I mean, it's not any different than anything else. You just add everything up. So 12 and 13 here would be 25. 25 plus 5 would be 30. So the perimeter of this triangle would be 30. Piece of cake. Okay. Now, there's special situations with special kinds of triangles where we're going to use something called the Pythagorean theorem to find a missing side. Okay, and that missing side is going to be this side right here. This only works if you have a right triangle. Just a right triangle, that's it. Which means it has to have a right angle in it. If it does not have a right angle in it, you cannot use this. Okay, but if it does, you're good to go. Now, a couple of things you need to know before we put this theorem into action. First of all, the side missing here, and the side we're going to be looking for in a lot of different cases, is called the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always across from the right angle. So here's the right angle, hypotenuse is right there. Okay. We need to figure out what that hypotenuse is to come up with the perimeter, because we can't just have a perimeter with two sides. We got to have all three. To do this, we're going to use this theorem. This is the Pythagorean theorem up here. It's a to the second power, or a squared, plus b to the second power, b squared, equals c to the second power, or c squared. Okay, this is going to start out seeming fairly complicated, just because, I mean, you've got letters, we got numbers, what's going on? Okay, I promise you that it's not really that complicated after we get working here. You're just going to have to know a few different things. You're going to have to know how exponents work, which everybody in here does. Anything to the second power would be times itself. Okay. You're also going to have to know how a square root works. That is also pretty easy. It's just thinking about a number times itself to get the number in the square root symbol. Okay. We're going to do plenty of these, so by the time we're done, you'll have this all figured out. Okay. Now, I've labeled these sides A, B, and C. Okay, I always label the hypotenuse C. Every time in this, the hypotenuse is going to be C. The other two sides, it doesn't matter. If I wanted to switch this to be A and this to be B, it doesn't matter. But the hypotenuse has to be that side across from the right angle, or the longest side is what it is. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use this formula to figure this out. Okay, so now we need a squared plus b squared. We could start with that, easy enough. A squared is going to be 5 squared, 5 to the second power, plus b squared is going to be 12 to the second power, equals c squared. So now let's just work down and work out the problem. 5 to the second power is just 5 times 5, so that's going to be 25. 12 to the second power is just 12 times 12. 12 times 12, if you did that, is 144. Now this needs to equal, or it will equal c squared. What that means is that it will equal something, and then you have to take the square root of it to figure out. So I'm just going to put this right here to remind you that you'll need to do the square root of what you get. So 125 or 25 plus 144 is 169. Okay. If you have a calculator with the square root button, or this radical symbol, you can just push 169 square root button and figure it out. Otherwise, we're going to have a little bit of work to do, which is okay. We just need to figure out what number times itself gets us either 169 or close to 169. So let's try some things here. Okay. Now, an easy way to do this is, I know that 12 times 12 is 144. So it's got to be higher than 12. So I can just make a mental note of that. It's got to be higher than 12. So I'll go to 13. Okay, let's try 13 times 13. 13 times 13, we'd have a 9 there. We'd have 3. Put your 0 there, a 3, and a 1. Add them together. That's 169. Okay. So our additional side is 169, the square root of that, which is 13. So I can put 13 right here. Okay. Now all I have to do to find the perimeter is add all the sides up. 5, 12, and 13. 12 and 13 is 25 plus 5 is going to be 30. So our perimeter is going to be 30. Things to note about this, all you have to do is insert one of the sides for A, one of the sides for B, as long as it's not the hypotenuse. Do each of them to the second power, add them together, and then take the square root of what you got. So the square root of 169 is 13, because 13 times 13 is 169. So our answer is going to be 13 for the hypotenuse. Total perimeter, 12, 13, and 5, is 30. If you're struggling with this right now, remember, this is one example. I'll give you plenty of examples to help you get this figured out. All right. We need to find the perimeter of this triangle. We do not have the hypotenuse. Remember, the hypotenuse is across from the right angle. We can find it using the Pythagorean theorem because this is a right triangle. Okay? So we know this is going to be our C. Hypotenuse is C. So let's go through this to see how it works. Okay? Like I said in the last one, either of these can be A and B. It doesn't matter as long as the hypotenuse is always C. So let's do 4 is A and 3 is B. Okay? So I need to first start with A to the second power, which is going to be 4 to the second power. 4 times 4 is 16. Plus B to the second power. B to the second power is just 3 to the second power. 3 to the second power is going to be 3 times 3, which is going to be 9. Equals C squared. So we need to figure out the square root of what we get when we add the things together. 16 and 9 is 25. Now, to find out the square root of 25, we have to take a number and times it by itself to get 25. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. We're getting closer. 5 times 5 is 25. So the square root of 25 is 5. 5 is our missing side. So I'm going to come over here to C. I'm going to insert 5 there. My perimeter is going to be all the sides added up. 4 and 3 is going to be 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. My perimeter in this case is going to be 12 because we found the missing side of 5. So all you had to do was identify A and B, which are either the sides that are not the hypotenuse, square both of them, take them to the second power, figure out what it equals up to, take the square root of that number, that's your missing side. After you find your missing side, just add them all up, there's your perimeter.